Think of your favorite forest, river, or mountain. What if I said that the beauty and health in those places might not have been the work of nature alone, but also the work of people who treated that place as family, not property? For millennia, Indigenous peoples have lived by a simple belief. The land is not something to be taken from. It's a relative to be protected and cared for. Today, with deforestation, climate change, and extinction, the world is slowly catching on to how much it can learn from them. Welcome to Voices of the Land, where we explore the intersection of Indigenous rights and conservation biology. I'm your host, Ruhi, and in this first episode, we're diving into traditional ecological knowledge, or TEK, and why it's vital for the future of our planet. Let's begin with the basics. Traditional ecological knowledge, commonly referred to as TEK, is the wisdom and practices developed over thousands of years by Indigenous communities from living in a close relationship with the environment. Here's the key difference between TEK and what we think of as quote-unquote regular science. Western science often tries to separate people from nature. It treats ecosystems like machines to be studied. But TEK sees people as part of nature, part of the same web of life as animals, plants, water, and soil. Here's an example. The word for bay in the Potawatomi language is wikwigama. It's not a noun, it's a verb. It means to be a bay. And that's how TEK views the natural world, as a living, moving, dynamic system, not just something you own or control. TEK is about relationships. It's about giving back to the land as much as you take, and understanding your survival depends on the health of everything around you.
These combined crises of biodiversity loss on the edge of climate catastrophe, they have all come because we treat the earth as if it were our property. So the covenant of reciprocity says that there is no ecological system on earth that can persist if all we do is take. We always have to replenish. I've heard our elders say that one of the reasons that our people held on to our traditional knowledge and teachings against all odds was that one day there would come a time when all of the world was in need of this wisdom. I think that time is now.
Now, one might wonder, if TEK is so valuable, why aren't we using it everywhere? The truth is, TEK has been ignored, erased, or even outlawed for centuries, and that has everything to do with colonization. This perspective is rooted in respect and reciprocity and is a foundation of how TEK operates. TEK isn't new, it's ancient. Indigenous communities have been managing their environments for millennia. When Yosemite National Park was formed in the mid-1800s, the Awanichi people were forcibly removed from their homeland. But to them, the land was never truly wild. The Awanichi government carefully tended that landscape. They conducted controlled burns to maintain a healthy forest, and they cultivated edible and medicinal plants. This erasure of indigenous practices was not unique to Yosemite. Throughout the world, the notion of quote-unquote pristine wilderness has removed the very individuals who made it flourish. So, why does TEK matter now? Our planet is in crisis. Climate change, deforestation, and biodiversity loss threaten the systems that sustain life. And TEK offers solutions rooted in thousands of years of experience. In British Columbia, we found forest gardens created centuries ago by Indigenous communities. These gardens, which had been abandoned during colonization, were still outperforming surrounding forests in terms of biodiversity and resilience. They're a testament to the power of TEK. Or take the example of fire management. For generations, Indigenous tribes such as the Yurok and Karuk have used controlled burns to prevent catastrophic wildfires. Only today are scientists finally catching up, recognizing these burns as essential for forest health.
Fire's alive, and you give thanks to it before you bring it back to life again. And then you feed it while it's alive. You feed it and take care of it. That's kind of the relationship a lot of people don't have anymore.
Understanding those details of the ways in which fire was used for thousands of years helps us better understand what that relationship with fire can look like and what that relationship with the land can look like. We have landscapes that require that tending by people to thrive. Our forests and woodlands in California are not meant to have an infinite number of trees per acre. They're really evolved to have large, long-lived trees that have space between them. And that space creates resilience. It allows more water. It prevents pathogen spread by keeping distance between trees. It allows more sunlight to the forest floor, which allows more diversity in the understory plants.
One of the ways you can tell if the burn has been a good burn is by just doing this. You got little sprouts coming up already, so you could just wipe away the black and then it's soil again. If it was one of those big bad fires, the burn goes a lot deeper than just the top layer. That's what's known as a good fire.
TEK isn't just about protecting nature. It's about repairing our relationship with it. It's about seeing land and water not as resources to extract, but as relatives to care for. TEK is a powerful tool, but it's only part of the story. In our next episode, we'll explore case studies of Indigenous communities leading the way in sustainable conservation, showing us what's possible when TEK is put into practice. Take a moment throughout your day and acknowledge the land that you are on. Who are the original caretakers? How can we work to uplift their wisdom and have their voices be part of the solution to save our Earth? This has been Voices of the Land. Thank you for joining us, and see you next time.